Yo, welcome to Rip That 50 once again. Got here again, getting it in. I recorded in a few days, but I still been moving, still been coming out here. But I done changed the scenery a little bit. We up here at can you see that? FedEx Field. Walking around. It's a nice course. It's a dome, so it's a circle. So you walk around this circle. They got some other obstacles. Like as you can see over here, the stairs. So every lap, I'm hitting those stairs up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And then I continue on my way on the walk. So this is a little bit different. Scenery, same thing. I done beefed up the dailies a little bit. Now I'm on 25 push-ups daily. Almost 30 days to my birthday. From my birthday, starting this. I'm down 6.5 pounds. It fluctuates between 6 and 8 pounds, depending on if it's the morning, what time of day it is. Between 6 and 8 pounds in almost 30 days. So that's just about right. You know, like I said, we weren't like going super hard on it. We're taking it the slow, easy, progressive way to rip this. And what I decided I was gonna start doing is having a topic to talk about while I'm doing this. Because you know, just watching me doing this is kind of boring, right? But I got some things to say, some things on my mind, right? So I feel like I can get those out and get the workout in at the same time. Boom. That's what you call multitasking, you know? So today's topic is going to be the pandemic showed us blank. Yeah, it's a lot of things, right? But I'm only going to mention 5. I'm only giving us 5. All right? So let's start with that. What has the 5 things that the pandemic has taught us, let's say, about America? I can't really speak for other countries, right? Number 1, America really isn't the land of the free. I know in our anthem we say the land of the free and the home of the brave. Yeah, it might be a lot of brave people here, but this land is not free. Okay? We got locked down, said we couldn't come outside. That ain't free. They told adult men and women that they had to take a vaccination or risk losing your job. When they do that, where they do that at in a free society, in a free land, where they do that at? So this land really isn't free. It's free under certain circumstances, but when they want to, that freedom can be taken away. And I don't mean jail. I just mean freedom to do what you do. That's number 1. Number 2, Wu-Tang had it right. Cash rules everything around me. Get the money, dollar bill, y'all. America is starved for money, however you want to say it, but corrupt over money. Basically what it is. We saw just how corrupt our medical and our pharmaceutical industries are in America. Straight corrupt, y'all. And we know it. It's a couple of car words I'm not going to say so this video don't get picked up by the powers that be. Yeah, they're still limiting our freedom. to say certain things. But we saw people being labeled as one thing when they really died for another. We saw people being said that they had COVID, that they caught COVID, which you can't catch COVID. It's diagnosed by a doctor. We get on that later. Excuse this noise right here. All right, I had to pause that while I passed that generator or whatever was making all that noise. But anyway, we saw people saying they got caught with COVID. They caught COVID and died from COVID. When their families came out, they say they died in a motorcycle accident. Right? People who was labeled as died from COVID, and their family come out and say, oh no, they had stage 4 cancer. Okay? But the question is, why would they lie? What incentive do they have to lie for, right? Well, long story short, when the CARES Act came out, and that was the coronavirus act, where the government just gave money to the medical field, just doused them with billions of dollars, sorry, not trillions, but billions of dollars. They were paid 29,000, I believe it was, for each patient that they kept in the hospital for 10 days and were treated for COVID and were put on the respirator. So if they could get a patient in the hospital, he stayed in the hospital for 10 days, at least with a respirator for a certain amount of those days, didn't have to be for the whole 10 days, but at least was on the respirator at one point in time. And whether they lived or not, they got $29,000, okay, for each patient. So you tell me that's not a reason to say a few more people came to the hospital and they had COVID, right? But it was found out that a lot of people that were saying had COVID, they weren't even tested. They got caught. And they had to revise the numbers that they was putting up on CNN every day. And putting in the CDC was broadcasting to everybody. They had to revise the number. I think it was 4,500 at the beginning that they had to take off. But that was just from the initial investigation. So, considering, and comparatively speaking, if somebody was in the hospital and they had flu, they only got $2,000 or $2,300 in Medicaid. Big difference, right? So we kind of know why the numbers were the way they were and why things were the way they were. And not only just the hospitals themselves, but the nurses too. I mean, shout out to the good nurses that was out there doing good things. But the nurses were getting paid, all the nurses and the doctors. They were making $10,000 a week. Okay? Doctors were making $15,000 to $17,000 a week. Now, you tell me, is that incentive for you to go out and tell the news people the hospitals are full? This is so bad. We don't have enough beds. But we have videos of whistleblower nurses out there showing you the inside of these hospitals. They're not empty. They have rooms full of respirators, saying that they didn't. See? These phones are a gift and a curse. Because now that truth came out quick. And so that's the way things went, why things went the way it was. Coronavirus was real, but it was definitely overhyped. And the reason why was because of money. Number three, American citizens overall are mad gullible. I mean, they believe anything that's on the news. We see people in these little love schemes and stuff like that, and we hear the story and then we say, well, how did that happen? How did they even believe that? Because Americans in general believe anything that's on the news. Just told to them. They don't go do no research. They don't go check nothing out. They just believe it. And that's what happened with coronavirus, this pandemic. They believe whatever the narrative that either the government, pharmaceuticals, or the news wanted to push forward. Okay? They even got everybody saying they caught COVID. You go get tested for COVID. Well, let's talk facts. That's not true. You don't get tested for COVID just like you don't go out and get tested for AIDS. All right? You get tested for HIV, the virus that causes AIDS. And just like with COVID, you don't catch COVID, you don't test for COVID, you're not testing positive for COVID. You're testing positive for SARS-CoV-2. That is the virus that causes COVID, right? If you are not experiencing shortness of breath, having problems breathing, the advanced symptoms, there's no way you had COVID. Zero possibility that you had COVID. COVID is diagnosed when you're in advanced stages of the virus. And really, it's not the virus being advanced, it's your immune system that's reacting to the virus that's advanced. Okay, go look it up. I ain't lying. They told you this was a brand new virus that never been seen. Well, why is it called SARS-CoV-2? Because it's a derivative of the original SARS. We did see this before. We saw this before years ago. Come on, y'all. Wake up. Do a little research. It wasn't a new virus. It was just like all those variants. They just called it SARS-CoV-2 instead of Delta and all them other ones. Facts. It's stairs time. And this time I'm gonna let y'all go with me so y'all can see and experience this with me. Going up and down. Here we go. Stairs. Let's go. That's the first set. These are all the ones I got to do. I come up and I kind of do a light jog going down. But that's one set right there. We'll go to second. Whew. It's getting tired. They are burning. I got one more up and down to go. They burning though. For real. Stairs. Real good exercise, y'all. Real good. That's the last one. My legs are on fire right now. And we're done. I'm on the final lap. I do a set of those once every lap. With the lap, I believe I did about 2.5 or 3 miles today with the stairs. Some good working. Number 4. And some of y'all might not know number 4. But if not, I'm about to expose it to you. Because you might not have known. Might not have done any research to find out, right? So, number 4. The virus was here before we knew it. It was here before March or February of 2020. Oh no, it was here in 2019, end of the year. September, October, November, December, it was here already. All that stuff we did to keep that boat out to sea was for nothing, because it was already here, spreading. Okay, just like all the other viruses. Y'all may not know this, but viruses like that spread all the time. Where do you think the common cold come from? It come from viruses. Viruses spreading, and it have the same symptoms like SARS-CoV-2 had. Sneezing, coughing, sometimes we develop pneumonia. But what we learned is, it was already here. Go look it up. They did a test on old blood that they had stored, like Blue Cross, Red, whoever collected blood. Tired now, I can't think of it right now. But anyway, they did a test of the blood that they already had collected. And some of that blood already had SARS-CoV-2 virus exposed to it. They already had the antibodies in the blood. That's the only way you can get the antibodies is if you actually got exposed to the virus. And these weren't foreigners. These were Americans. Okay? So it was already here. You don't believe me? Go look it up. It's been here. The first scientist that they suspected of having it died in September of 2019 in China. Right? So if they died of it by then, right, then guess what? That means it was around before that in China. And I want you to just imagine how much traveling went on between China and New York and China and United States from September. Let's go back a month early because that's when the person died. So it was here before that. It leaked out before that. Yes, it was a lab leak, by the way. It was. That means from August, September, October, November, and December of 19, all the traveling that went on between the United States and China, that virus got transferred over here and was already spreading. That's why it looked like it spread so fast, because it was already here. So of course all the people that you tested were going to be positive. And then once the news said you're supposed to start dying, that's when everybody started dying. Even though it was here 6 months before that. Go figure. But that's number 4. And number 5, as we come to the end of this exercise segment, that the 5th thing that we learned from the pandemic and what we found out since the pandemic is that the pharmaceutical company runs America. Okay? They run America because they control the media. Right? And if you control the media, you control Americans, because you can tell Americans to do what you want to do from the media. And people believe it just because they see it on the media. Right? So the pharmaceutical company, they made a killing off of pandemic, aka coronavirus, aka SARS-CoV-2, aka COVID. All right, they made a killing off of it. I mean, we talking about billions and billions and billions, and yes, when you put them all together, trillions of dollars. And they made it off something that doesn't even really work. Okay, it doesn't even work. They sold America on that. If you take this safe and effective thing, I'm not gonna say that B word, because YouTube and the other boo birds will come get me. But if you take this thing and put it in your arms, all your problems are settled. We saved the day. We saved the world. Found out it don't work. You stick it in your arm. It looks good for about 2 months, and then after that, you just as bad as not taking it. Maybe 1-2 months. I know people that took the V word, and a month later, they tested positive for the SARS-CoV-2 for the first time since it been out. Okay, and we talking about a year and a half out, almost 2 years after they decided to go ahead and take the V word, and never tested positive before, never had the antibodies, nothing, right? And speaking of antibodies, my antibodies for when I actually caught SARS-CoV-2, when I caught SARS-CoV-2, my antibodies they were still available, still in my blood a year and a half after I had caught it. So deep into 2021, I still had the antibodies, which what they originally told you that if you caught it, you weren't gonna have antibodies but for a few months. Once again, lies. They didn't know. They kind of did know, but they had to trick you into getting the V word, right? So anyway, the pharmaceutical industry made a killing. Trillions of dollars. They're gonna make trillions and more dollars because they made people in certain schools, they made it mandatory that you have it. So that's more money in their pockets. And then they got it off of all the derivatives of the SARS-CoV-2, the Delta, the Omicron, the Albatron, whatever. All the different names that they made up for it. They made money off of each one of those, right? And I'm not even going to get into all the issues people have had from taking it, which they've never had that in the history of V words, okay? Never had a problem like that before with any of the other ones until we tried the brand new V word, right? So, pharmaceutical company showed you. They already did, but this proved it, all right? That's what this is about. 5 things that the pandemic has proven or has taught us since. If you like it, you believe me, you agree with me, hit that like, subscribe, there'll be more. If you don't, think I'm full of shit, hey, hit the dislike, I don't care. But those are the 5 things. Rip that 50.